So we made a video the other day. I'm on the way to the summer league, guys, in my car. I just got a Dutch Bros for the first time, and I asked for a large, thinking it was a reasonable amount of coffee, like a Starbucks. And I just got myself what looks like a liter of coffee. Either way, Chris Paul wants to start. He said it basic. He pushed back on the idea of coming off the bench, and supposedly that was, him, putting the idea in pursuit that maybe a starting lineup of Draymond Green, Andrew Wiggins, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Chris Paul, or Chris Paul, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Kevon Looney, and Wiggins as the sixth man. Could be something that happens next year, but let me read you the report. This comes from our man who works for The Athletic. Let me get the reports right here. All right, and basically what it says is that Sam Amick says that Chris Paul is holding out some hope that there's a way for him to start next to Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. The quote goes like this: when you push back against the idea that he would come off the bench for the Warriors this season during his introductory news conference in Vegas on Sunday, it's safe to assume that he knew precisely what he was doing. Regardless of what comes next, it's quite clear that Paul is holding out some hope that there's a way for him to start. And now, people, not a replacement of Steph Curry and or Klay Thompson, but with them in a small lineup, end quote. Now, I'm fine with it, because then you'd have Gary Payton off the bench. You still have Kuminga, you have Wiggins. I mean, their bench would be insane. And then Chris Paul would argue, he's like, I don't have to, start. I could be a ceremonial starter. Let me start 5 minutes and then send me to the bench, put in, Wiggins back in the game. Obviously, there would have to be some sacrifice from Wiggins or Looney. Your assumption is Looney would be more willing to sacrifice, as he's not getting paid as much and he isn't an all-star like Wiggins or the former number one pick. So that's where you go, maybe Looney, you go that small with Dre starting. But it's all very, very interesting, to say the least, that if you look at it. I like the idea. I think the best way to go about it would be through the ceremonial start, where he literally starts and then boom, you sub him off. I don't know what team was doing that, but there's been several teams that have done that with some guys where they've just started them and then just boom, take them off. And it seems like it's just kind of like a ceremonial start where they're like, here you go, bud. But I don't know. What do you guys think? I do want to pry around and ask about Chris Paul, but it's also weird being at the summer league, and because I'm kind of trying to get into basketball operations or scouting, so it's hard to also ask things that I want to learn from my YouTube channel, because there's also things that I'll talk and then people will be halfway through the time we're talking, they're you're not gonna say anything any of this on your YouTube, and I'm yeah. So there's a lot of stuff. Jesus Christ, that some guy just cut in front of us, but there's just a lot that I just can't tell you guys, nor would I want to. It's nor is it breaking news, but it's just things. So that's the hard part about you want to make figure these things out, and basically ask questions about questions you have, which some things I've found out that we'll talk about on a later day, but most of it you're just not. And it's hard to, I haven't spoken to anyone with the Warriors, nor do people really talk about the Warriors. I was actually sitting behind Kenny Atkinson the other day, but besides that, that's it for me. Peace.